This is Pepito, reminding you to tune into Caveman News live every Sunday night. And also, don't forget about me.
Welcome to Caveman News. Let's spread our wings and leave this perch. It's episode 71. Research. I was gonna say, I knew I had the microphone here just a moment ago. Soy Teresa says, come back, Pepito. And I agree, and agree, and agree. Let me start the timer. Let's not let this show go on too long. Alright, we have the timer. Everything's good. Why don't we unveil the phone number? We are accepting calls. I have turned on the ringer, and we're all good. And for those of you who have not memorized yet the phone number, it's all said right here in this beautiful little song.
575-689-2606.
It fell the wrong way. There we go. 575-689-2606. Alright. Everything is so efficient these days. There was a time on Caveman News where I liked to dawdle around. Soy Teresa says she only has one take on that jam. Yeah, that was Soy Teresa, of course, singing the amazing jingle jam, whatever you like to call it. We welcome it, ma'am. The phone song for Caveman News. I don't know. I've never named what it is before, so you'll excuse my stammering there. But as I was trying to say, we're very efficient here at Caveman News these days. There was a time when I liked to mess around at the beginning of the show, make some jokes, say a few things, let everybody know what's on my mind. But these days, we really don't have time. Everything is so packed, so there's only one thing that we can do.
Start the if I was in the chat, I would be saying, start the show.
I know you would.
Start
Absolutely.
the show.
Okay, we're starting the show. And there's James Barrett, the first man executed here in Carlsbad, who insisted that he did not want to die with his boots on, so in honor of him, we remove our boots every week when the show officially starts. And as mentioned, we're going to start it right away because there's so much to get to. I don't know if you're aware, but these index cards, everything is so thick. There's so many. No, I don't think there's anything we need to do. Last week, I shot the rubber band, and I didn't even watch it back, but I'm pretty sure it was a great shot. But it was pointed out to me that I maybe shouldn't do that because assistant director Cobra is prone to eating anything, so I don't want to have to go hunting the rubber band again to make sure that I save his life by making sure that he doesn't do that. So I'm not shooting the rubber band this week. I have learned my lesson. That's a big thing here on Game of News. We learn our lessons. And speaking of learning, let's get right into it. It's research. Oh, you know what? I thought of this earlier and I completely forgot. When I was introducing the show, I was thinking I should say research and then hold it out, go research, and try to hold it for the entire intro theme that played. We'll never know, but I think I would have nailed it. I think it would have gone great. What does Soy Teresa say? Uh-oh. Soy Teresa says, is that why she found it in the studio lounge under the caveman couch? Possibly, but I did find a rubber band, and I think it was the one I fired off. I don't think Cobra got a hold of it, but I do tend to be firing off rubber bands here, and that is on me. I'm learning. This is a show where we learn, and why not learn right now? Let's start things off. What's our first button here? It is a date. April 23rd, 1972. Local collector finds old hand seal in yards. And this is by Lee Myers. I have no idea what a hand seal is. In full disclosure, these days the show is usually prepped and the index cards are made for me by our lovely associates, the network Cave TV. They've kind of taken the reins and dictate what we should talk about each week, and they deliver me these beautiful index cards, and I read them. And I was about to throw this one, but I know there's more on this one. But yeah, that's why I have no idea what a hand seal is. I'm excited to find out. Members of the Southwest New Mexico Historical Society and Harry J. Harmon, 205 Vine Street, have just uncovered a spicy little story from the early days. A great throw. I mean, I don't need to say it every time, but it always impresses me. From the early days of the village of Eddy, now Carlsbad. I don't know who this Harmon fellow is, and I'm always shocked when they just come straight out and say, here's this person, and here's their exact address and location, here is their coordinates. It seems like a practice that is not very good and endangers people, but instead of saying that, I'm gonna say I wish they'd bring it back. What a fun time. I mean, if you're gonna go around being the historical society, Harry J. Harmon liked discreet meetups, says Dilbro. Dill bro, chill bro. Absolutely. I think so. Harmon collects nails. The fuck? Why? What? Why are you collecting nails? That's ridiculous. Not just ordinary nails, but railroad tie nails. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. That is forgivable. I will excuse that. I don't exactly know what a railroad tie what is it? A railroad tie nail is. I don't know exactly. Soy Teresa says, "Welcome, Dilbro." Absolutely, I agree. I concur. And a tie nail, oh, here we go, is a bit of a character in its own right. Wow. Okay. At least he's collecting something good, and that is a character. Yeah, Soy Teresa says she needs to go out and dig in the dirt more. 100%, I concur. It's only about 1.5 to 2 inches long and has an extra large head, me too, on which is stamped numbers, letters, or symbols. Dilbro Chill says pause. I don't know why. Dill. Back around 1900, railroads began using these nails to help record the life history of their ties. Okay. It was driven into the upper surface of the tie between the rails, the letter or number on the head or symbol indicating whether the tie was laid during original construction, later construction, or during repairs. That rules. As Soy Teresa stated, she needs to go outside and dig in the dirt more. I really wish. This is a story from 1972. I can only presume that all the good railroad nails or tie nails, whatever they're calling them, have been found at this point. They're probably not still here. Okay, 1972 to 2025. Okay. 53 years later? But if they were... Oh, Soy Teresa says, I don't know. I'm being lambasted for misquoting Soy Teresa, and viewers of this show will know that's not the first time I have misquoted her, but it will be the last. Never again will I misquote producer Nico, Soy Teresa. That time has come and passed. Okay, what do we... this is number 9. Alright. Harmon spends considerable time prowling, me too, about Carlsbad Santa Fe rail yards. That's as good of a place to prowl as any, I'm sure. And one day, several months ago, he found a hand stamp or seal such as is used by notary publics or other such officials. Wow. So some notary or official is out in the rail yards and just happens to drop their seal. I've never found a stamp, seal, any official paraphernalia used by a notary public, but I can dream of the day when that reality befalls me. Yeah, Soy Trees, I bet you'd get in big trouble for losing your notary stamp. I would not be surprised if that happened. Maybe we'll find out later in this story more about this character, Jay Harmon. Okay, we're at 10. Alright, it was terribly corroded, and after a couple of months, application of various kinds of solvents. Nice. With little success. I don't have enough solvents. That's why I don't find anything good. He finally resorted to a hacksaw. I got one of them. And when the stamp itself was finally revealed, it read W.K. Stalcup, Notary Public, Eddy County, New Mexico. Okay, so, well, yeah, of course, it has to say who it belonged to. I can't imagine a notary stamp that wouldn't say that. But hey, mystery solved. We know who this negligent fool is. Who was W.K. Stalcup? I thought we were just figuring that out. Members of the Historical Society consulted the records of the boards of what boards? Oh, of Eddy County commissions, and found that he, as deputy clerk under probate clerk Thomas Fennessy, it's like Tennessee but with an F, had signed the minutes of that board on January 2nd, 1891. Soy Teresa says, apparently you must file a police report if you lose it and send a letter to the Secretary of State. I don't know what happens if you do not, but I bet it's no fun. Yeah, I bet not. People be going around notarizing everything. I have many notebooks, but I have one notebook, and I have listed everything I would notarize if I ever find one of them damn hand stamps. And one day, I'll find it. I guess I just need to spend more time prowling the train yards. It seems to pay off for some people in the Historical Society. There was some wild characters in Eddy during the first few years of the life of the town. I know, we learn about that all the time. And for a while, they were in the driver's seat. Absolutely. I was going to say, when I saw the date, 1891, it made me think of 1894, when our hero, patron saint of the show, James Barrett, the outlaw, was executed. That was 1894. So that's kind of a landmark in my mind about local history here in Carlsbad. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, for a while they were in the driver's seat. Dave Kemp. Oh my god. That is the notorious Dave Kemp, the evil sheriff who executed James Barrett. There he is once again. Oh my god. Who had already killed a man in Texas. Jeez. Dave, see, we're no fans of Dave Kemp here, but I didn't realize that before he was even sheriff in 1894, or 1890s, before he was even sheriff, he'd already killed a man in Texas. That's ridiculous. Where we're at? We're at number 15. Do I got that? Yes. And Walker Bush, his half-brother, who also came with a reputation as a gun toter, his chief deputy. Okay, yeah, of course, nepotism. Yeah, Dave Kemp is the sheriff. He is the number one entry into the boozoo for bozos. Dave Kemp. We're I was going to say we're not fans of you, but I'm sorry, Dave Kemp, we hate you. Come at me. Kill me like you killed so many others. I dare you. You gotta be old as hell by now. 140 or something? I doubt you could take me. So yeah, Dave Kemp brought along his murdering brother to act as one of his deputy. I don't know where Dave Kemp is buried. Good question, Jill. I need to find that out. That's a grave I definitely need to visit. Tom Fennessy had killed a man up at Seven Rivers. Dill's gonna goon on Dave Kemp's grave. Well, I can't say he doesn't deserve it. Okay, Tom Fennessy had killed a man up at Seven Rivers. And that's interesting to me because that's where the patron saint of the show, James Barrett, he also killed 2 men up at Seven Rivers while working at a camp up there. And then Dave Kemp killed him for that. So I guess he's okay if Tom Fennessy does it. That's favoritism. I don't like it. And both Kemp and Bush would kill a man before leaving here. Of course. And that's one of the things we did bring up shortly after we discussed Dave Kemp carrying out the execution of James Barrett. He botched the hanging. He had the rope too long and James Barrett's feet hit the ground. And then they had to get out shovels and start digging a hole under him, and he slowly strangled. And then, yeah, a few years after that, Sheriff Dave Kemp shot another sheriff, and he and his friend shot another sheriff, and they said that they didn't do it. And then a witness came forward, and they said, oh, well, there's a witness. Okay, yeah, we did it, but we were intimidated and scared. We thought he was reaching for his gun. I don't know. Dave Kemp, what a monster. Let's move on from Dave Kemp. We can get bogged down on Kemp hate. All right. Oh boy. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown that last one. Let me see if I can pick it up. See, that's a problem with these. Okay. With these index cards is I love to throw them so much, but sometimes I throw them too early. And then aha, here we go. See, I found it. That is a part of the cleverness of this show is now I've started numbering these clippings that I have that the network writes out for me. So now, when I accidentally throw one before I am done reading it, it's easy to find. Dave Kemp does have a micro. Absolutely dill, bro. Okay, the sale of liquor was banned in Eddy at the time, but a saloon named Phoenix was not a saloon. It was a town with multiple saloons, so I don't know exactly. I guess this is the current Argus, the newspaper of record that has messed up, but anyway, let's move on. Let's forget that for now. At the time, a saloon named Phoenix, no O in the word, as platted. And I do know that the word platted means like engraved. I think it's similar, like plated, like you're putting it down on the plate. This is the official name. No O in the name Phoenix. It thrived down the road, about where Motel Stevens is now located, and an exceedingly fine crop of tough characters settled there to operate saloons, gambling games, and brothels. Beautiful. And again, I haven't brought this up in a while, but one of the gosh, I think we decided 2025. This year, I'm going to resurrect the town of Phoenix, and I'm going to be running for mayor of it. So I hope that goes good. Partner in the ownership of one of the largest saloons. What? Now the local researchers turned to the pages of the old Eddie Argus, Carlsbad's first newspaper. Am I? Yeah, okay, I am in the right place. I see Brother Binks here. Oh gosh, Brother Binks is gonna run against me in the mayorship for Phoenix. When I just read that, at first I'm disappointed. I would hate to run against such an honorable man, but at the same time, I am glad that the election that we'll be having in a few months later this year, once Phoenix is resurrected, I'm glad I'm not running unopposed. That makes it more interesting. And no, it is Phoenix, no O in the name. Where we at? We're at, okay. Hard times struck Eddie and the Valley in 1893 and 94. What a great throw. The nation was in a depression. Construction work on the dams and canals of the irrigation system was completed, and the small army of laborers who had built them and furnished the money to fatten Phoenix purses had gone elsewhere. See, yeah, Dill, you can. I'm sure we can work something out, Dill. First Lady of Phoenix. That just has a ring to it. First Lady of Phoenix. So flop? I like it. In September 1895, several of the leading saloons down the road, learning that pickings were richer over about Globe, Arizona, decided to move their establishments there. And I'm a big defender of Phoenix, the outlaws there, and all of the things they did, but to leave beautiful southern New Mexico for Arizona, that's pretty disgusting and unforgivable. I can't abide by that. Baxter says the only election Brother Binks ever lost was Mr. CHS. He was runner-up. Ouch. That is tough. Sorry, Binks. Where are we at? We're at, okay, number 23. So, on September 28th, 1895, they pulled out. On October 3rd, the Argus told it in a most interesting manner. They pulled out. Three 6-mule teams, each hitched to a big wagon and another wagon behind called a trail wagon. The 6 wagons, loaded down with all manner of movable goods, passed through town last Saturday from the saloon suburb Phoenix. See, it is not just a saloon, it's a saloon suburb. En route to Globe, Arizona. I've never been to Globe, Arizona, but I do kind of want to see it now. I do find Arizona to be disgusting. No offense to inhabitants there, but I have no interest in Arizona. But hearing that the bandits, outlaws, and prostitutes of Phoenix did eventually move there, I feel like I should at least pay respects. It's only the righteous thing to do. They are the outfits of Lyle and Kemp, who have located in Globe, Arizona, and intend as soon as possible to close out business here entirely. What does Baxter say? You know why New Mexico is so windy? Because Texas sucks and Arizona blows. Absolutely. That is a good one. No fan.
You's a fool, baby. What's wrong with you, man? Sick.
Golly. I love that. That's my favorite sound alert. Thank you, Tomando. Yes, Soy Teresa. I knew it. Before I even looked, I was like, that's a Soy Teresa chime in right there. Thank you, Tomando. We miss you. Occasional Detroit had the best public access show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hands down. We live in Tomondo's shadow. Where are we at? Oh, wait. I think I just threw away something too early. But yeah, okay. I did. So I'm going to have to get close to the screen to see how this next one starts. Oh my god, that's the tiniest thing I've ever seen. While passing through town, Dave Kinkle perched away up on one of the big loads. Played Bonaparte's Retreat in his own inimitable way. Dan is a good violinist, and the band this outfit can muster is possibly the best in the West. I wish we could hear that.
And here's what I think of Trump's wall.
That's what I think too. Thank you, Michelle Lujan. I love that one. That one gets me. Oh wait, did I just do that again? Did I just throw away a card too soon? Golly, where am I at? Okay. What was this next one? Yeah, I did. Jeez Louise. Alright, I gotta get close to the screen. There were 20 men in this caravan. But as I was saying, I wish I could hear what that music was like. The best banjo player in the world, or in the West, which, come on, that is the world. Sitting on top of a load with the outlaws, riding the wagon out. It's beautiful. It's very. People have denied it, but I feel you're a fool, baby, to deny that Caveman News is the most romantic show on Twitch. Wait, I already did that. See, this is what happens when I throw my cards too early. Okay, 29. I think I'm back on track. Oof. No, this is part 2. A few days later, Mrs. Ed Lyle, with 16 females, nice, under her charge, also left Phoenix for Globe, leaving only 6 or 7 women in the Phoenix suburb. That's sad. I hope they weren't lonely. Oh, here we go. Style Cup. I had completely forgotten where we were at in this story, but you start getting into the whimsical world of Phoenix, and I get distracted. I'd completely forgotten that we're talking about a notary, Style Cup. Stalkup appears to have forgotten about his justice responsibilities, for he was indebted to the county for $465. I didn't check out the inflation calculator on that one, but $465, that's a lot to me in 2025. I can't imagine how much that was worth in 1894. The notary being indebted to the county for that much, that is impressive. Stalkup was living a life, an enviable life. Harmon does not know how the Stalkup seal became lost in the railroad yards, but he is quite proud of it. I would be too. That is amazing. I wonder if there's a museum somewhere here in town where I can go look at the Stalkup notary stamp, and already I'm thinking, okay, what if it is on display somewhere here in town at a museum? Would I be able to heist it? And what then would I notarize with the Stalkup notary seal? That's a beautiful world that I like to imagine. I get lost in fantasizing while doing this show, and that's got to be an all-time great fantasy. Imagine how great that would be. That ends this article. Moving on, we're at October 12th, 1986. I was 8 months old at this time? Jeez, that's ancient. Research team and NBC make discovery by Colleen Ray. I think that's what it says. Alright, what did y'all discover? Jim Goodbar's dance from the spirit world to the sacred ground was captured. Oof, that was not a good throw. That was captured by NBC Thursday night and will be aired as a kicker on NBC's Nightly News with Tom Brokaw sometime soon. What the hell is that? A dance from the sacred to... I have no idea what you're talking about. You're gonna have to tell me more. Carlsbad Caverns cave specialist Ron Kerbo, sick name, has given those names to newly discovered areas at opposite ends of the dance dome, which is 256 feet above the floor of the big room's top of the cross seating area. So, okay, yeah, so this is Carlsbad Caverns. Let's see. There's a little map. I can't make out what's going on. So we got the spirit world, the sacred ground. Gosh, I haven't been to the caverns in too many years. When you live right here by it, you tend to forget what a beautiful thing it is, and you take it for granted. Of course, we live in a time when a lot of the tours are being canceled because there's not enough park ranger staff to take people through the caverns, and that is sad. Not as many people are seeing it, but I am happy that they are doing less tours right now because they don't have the staff, rather than just letting people go down there willy-nilly, unaccompanied and roughshod, because I hate to say it, but people cannot be trusted. It's a sad world. Where are we at? We're at 36, right? Yeah, okay. Last February, he and Cave Research Foundation members used helium-filled balloons to hook a line over 2 cave stalagmites Kerbo named the Pearly Gates. I wonder if Kerbo is any relation to the legendary Kirby. It's very similar last names. They attached a rope to the line, pulled it out the formation, and Kerbo climbed 220 feet up the rope to the area he named the Spirit World. I cannot imagine how incredible that would be to... I wish I could go and explore unseen areas of the Carlsbad Caverns and throw my ropes around and things like that. I am not trained in such things, but I gotta believe in my heart. When it comes down to it, you have to believe in yourself, and I have to believe that I would be good at throwing ropes around cave formations and climbing around them and doing my little dance to the spirit world or whatever they're talking about. You gotta believe in yourself. 38. Here we go. Kerbo's team didn't find too much in the spirit world, but they noticed what looked to be openings directly opposite we suspected there was something worth going over there for, he says. We saw what looked like a lead or a lead with our feeble lights. That is very humble to admit that your lights are feeble. I do congratulate your candor and your confessing to your limitations, but at the same time, come on, don't be going in there with feeble lights. That's disrespectful, truly. And that's what they were planning to do. Make a 180-degree traverse of the dome on October 2nd. It just happened that NBC called to ask if they could film at the park at that time, and Kerbo invited them to come along. Absolutely. NBC, you happen to be coming around right when we are throwing ropes around and doing sky dances and discovering new things and researching. So, yeah. Lucky for NBC. Here's a photo. Alright, I'm gonna take a peek here. God. That looks so fun. I was about to say, I missed out by not dedicating myself to that life and having that experience. But you know what? My life's not over. Not yet. There's still a bit more. So maybe someday after I become mayor of Phoenix and beat Brother Binks, maybe there is time for me to get some friends together and throw ropes over stalagmites and not stalactites. I mean, that's ridiculous to say stalactites, but stalagmites I could throw ropes over and pull myself and my homies up. It would be great. The easy part, while Carlsbad Caverns Cave specialist Ron Kerbo holds the rope. Oh, this is the caption for that photo. Expert caver Jim Goodbar descends from his successful traverse of the dome above Carlsbad Caverns' big room NBC filmed part of his adventure, and it will be shown sometime soon on Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. I wonder, I do get criticized for bringing up things and saying, oh, I wonder what that's like. I wonder what that would be like, and criticized for not looking it up beforehand. But I really do think I should have spent time to try to find the NBC footage. Can you imagine if I hit a button right now and that played? It's not going to happen, but in a world where I am better prepared, that would be great. But again, this is Cave TV, the network, prepared these cards for me, so blame them, not me. I have plausible deniability. At 5:30 p.m. Thursday, Kerbo and expert cavers Jim Goodbar, Donald Davis, Michael Queen, and Michael Queen, they did some. Entered the room with 5 people from NBC. I do wish it would play Soy Teresa. Oof, not all cavemen. Hey, come on. Actually, Cobra's not here. I bet I can give him his call. He's gotten good at responding to his call. Maybe I'll call him at the end of the show. It's all cavemen. Oof. Okay. Where are we at? We're at... Alright. Correspondent Dan Molina, a sound person, a producer, and 2 cameramen. That was good. That's a good nod. Absolutely. But I do have some problems with that they name the correspondent and then they just say a sound person, a producer, and 2 cameramen. Let's have some respect. I stand for all producers when I say name them, credit them. One of the 2 cameramen was Craig White, an expert climber. He made the climb to the spirit world with the cameras while the rest of the NBC crew filmed from below. Yeah, maybe, as Soy Teresa says, maybe they wish to remain anonymous, and that is plausible. I know some producers who prefer to live in the shadows and rule with an iron but concealed fist. But yeah, okay. So one of the cameramen was an expert climber, and he gave his camera to the others. That rules. He'd never been in a cave before, says Kerbo. What in the hell? That's crazy. But he'd hung out on a lot of ropes. He just fit in as a member of the team. What were you doing? What was this guy doing hanging out on a bunch of ropes? There's only a few things I can think of that could have given him the experience to climb, hanging out on a lot of ropes. So was he a... Yeah, he just straight up posted on the rope pile. I agree, Soy Teresa. So it's kind of a shibari thing or a circus man, trapeze, tightrope type of guy. I can't think of any other possibilities. It had to be something like that. White added more than his climbing expertise, however. He brought lights along. Gee, see, they were just saying that their lights were feeble. Golly, who would have thought a cameraman who brings lights? That's, I mean, okay, so Jim Goodbar, Kerbo, y'all are excellent cavers, but you obviously have no experience or knowledge of the craft of fine documenting, because you have to have lights. That's ridiculous. Of course the cameraman brought lights. Okay, just making sure we're on track. With the lights that made it look like the sun had come up in Carlsbad Cavern. Does it seriously say Carlsbad Cavern? I guess maybe this is 1986. This is in my lifetime, and they're still calling it Carlsbad Caverns, or calling it Carlsbad Cavern instead of caverns. I don't know. That throws me off. The team knew they were right. There was something worth exploring at the opposite side of the dome. Okay, I want to see. What is it? What'd you find? With the lights blazing and cameras rolling, Goodbar began to traverse the rim of the dome without hammering any anchors. Badass. We had all agreed that we would do this in the best possible style, says Kerbo. Hell yeah. We didn't want to bash our way over there with bolts. I think all present and future admirers of the Carlsbad Caverns are so happy that you didn't blast your way over with bolts. I can't remember what you said. Instead, Goodbar used irregularities, stalagmites, shelves, and flat spots for hand or foot holds to catch him if he fell. Hell yeah. A lifeline rope stretched from him through the anchor to the spirit world and back to Kerbo, who belayed him. Wait, what? I am way off. That's not the right thing at all. That was the wrong one. Is this the right one? What does this one say? How's this start? Okay, I'm off on the wrong... Okay. That's excusable. Instead, Goodbar... Yeah. Okay, I read that. We know what Goodbar did. He used irregularities and things like that. Which is exactly what I would do if they let me into that cave. Kerbo described Goodbar's traverse. If you could support a funnel with a weld just above the spout, and you're inside the funnel, and you're trying to keep from falling into the spout, what the fuck? What Jim essentially did was dance around that weld, and it looked like a ballet. It was really superb. I cannot imagine it, but I do love your flowery language. I was gonna say, it doesn't explain to me. I don't know what you mean by a weld, but somebody doing a ballerina dance inside of a funnel. That part I can at least conceptualize, and I will go on record as saying that's beautiful. On Saturday night, Kerbo's group sans the NBC crew were back up the rope attached to that anchor, and Goodbar continued his traverse. By 3:15 a.m., he made it to the opposite side, which Kerbo named the Sacred Ground. Those are some good names. I do like the names that they gave these regions. 3:15 a.m. That is some real night owl stuff. I do relate. Between 3:15 and 7:30 a.m., Goodbar explored the area. I made a reconnaissance of the south leading passage, which averaged 12 to 15 feet wide and 30 feet high. Damn. The walls glistened with what appeared to be gypsum crystals, and as he walked along, the rocks would twinkle and wink at you with shimmering lights. Beautiful. He also discovered an oddity. Oh, an oddity. Was it Golga? In the bottom of that room, there was a deep, deep pit. Let's get it started. Let's open this pit. I dropped a few rocks down and into it. They bounced twice, and after a couple of seconds, they boomed down into the big room. Although it seems they shouldn't have, the rocks landed in the top of the cross-seating area. It's awfully funny, he says. Agreed. I'm laughing. Oof. I'm lucky that card blew back at me, because I realized just as I let go of it that I do need that card to introduce the next story, our final story of the night. Oof, we have 6 minutes left. Okay, here we go. Carlsbad, Current Argus, December 29th, 1988. Volunteers Prepare Cave for Woman by Michael. Looks like human. Michael Heenan. That's a more... Golly. Okay, Soy Teresa. Let's power through this. Oof. See, name a better stream host when it comes to index card throwing. I have that at least going for me. Let's ignore the fact that the camera is only that far away. But still, it is impressive. Soy Teresa says, what? They were getting the cave ready for me and the girls? I think viewers of this show will know what is coming next. It's no secret. A team of Italian scientists and local volunteers neared completion Wednesday of a surface research center and an underground habitat to be used in the team's Woman Frontier experiment, scheduled to begin Sunday at Carlsbad's Lost Cave. Soy Teresa says, I'm trying to see that cave titty. Soy Teresa, you and I fucking both. But we all know who this is. Who else would be a pioneer woman in a cave? You know her. You love her. The identity of the experiment's central figure, however, remained a mystery. Oof. I mean, we have we have discussed this experiment, so I'm not surprised, but it is a bit weird that they are keeping her identity a mystery. It's weird to me. I don't want to say objectively, oh, it's weird, because you know what? What's weird to me might not be weird to you. On Wednesday, Jim Goodbar, the cave specialist that we were just reading about? Oh yeah, cave specialist with the Bureau of Land Management and facilitator of the project, announced that the woman is 24 to 27 years old and is named Stefania. This is, of course, as Soy Teresa says, not a mystery to her. We know about this woman. This is Stefania, the Italian woman who came from Italy to live in the Lost Cave as a part of a scientific experiment on seclusion. And it is just strange that they say they're keeping her a mystery, but then they name her, and then they say she's 24 to 27. I mean, what? Is it gonna ruin the mystery if we find out that she's 25? Why even give her age? Lol, says Soy Teresa. I do agree. It's very strange. But hey, maybe she wanted to remain mysterious, and she said, "You're not allowed to give my last name or my age, but you can give a 3-year age range." Yeah, how old is Mr. Goodbar? That's what I want to know. Jeez Louise. We got a minute? No, we can do this. Stefania, nicknamed BB, Italian for petite, is to enter the cave on Sunday and remain isolated until June 1st. See, that's something I never knew when we initially discussed Stefania. I never knew that her nickname was BB. That's cute as hell. I like it. Medical personnel will monitor the subject's brain waves in an attempt to learn something of the effects of long-term space travel. I also was not aware that they were monitoring her brain waves. That's beautiful. Local cave enthusiasts. I'm a cave enthusiast. But again, I think this was 86 or something like that. So I was probably only a few months old. But I am local and a cave enthusiast. If you're... That is the sound saying that the show should end. I should shut the fuck up. But, what? Okay, stop. How do I stop it from... I don't know how to stop it. Okay. I think I have shut it up. Let's finish this story. Oh yeah. I got distracted because I read Local Cave Enthusiast, and it made me realize I really wish I had been honored with the task of being enthusiastic for the cave. Anyway, Local Cave Enthusiasts joined Italian scientist Emilio Francini, it sounds French, in constructing a small structure within the cave Wednesday. I love a structure inside a structure. That's a whole nother episode. The enclosure will serve as Stefania's living quarters throughout the experiment. Preparations to supply the cave habitat with electricity and water continued Wednesday. A mobile home on the surface, which will serve as a monitoring station and living quarters for the Pioneer team, as was supplied with gas and electrical facilities earlier in the week. They bought a car in town to use for traveling back and forth from the site. They've spent thousands on materials for constructing the habitat. They've rented 2 mobile homes from local dealers and spent hundreds of dollars on utilities and food, Goodbar said. Beautiful. That is it. We're just barely over our time, or whatever. So, let's close out the show. I'm gonna skip our lyric of the week because it is time to end the show, and it is Sunday night. I do need to watch episode 2 of season 2 of The Rehearsal. I will do the honorary inviting of a guest to come on the show. So this week, the invite goes out to Billy Landman Bob Thornton. You are hereby invited to come on the show someday, if you wish. All right, next week, we're going to be talking about a topic that I am very excited about. I hope that you'll join us as we discuss bears on episode 72. We're Dafu1312. If you're here next week, then I will see you.